Tonight on Gamehead, we're here in Verona, Wisconsin to meet up with Ben Heckendorn, who's the Bob Vila of the video game industry. He takes classic and current-day systems and hacks them into portable form. So forget the Nintendo DS and the Sony PSP and say hello to the Xbox 360 Portable. We're going to meet up with Ben and learn how he makes these creations and also meet a couple of his friends as well. All that plus the latest video game news, reviews, and previews right here on Gamehead. Tonight on Gamehead, we world premiere the first ever trailer for Mercenaries 2 World in Flames. And we have an exclusive preview of Pursuit Force Extreme Justice. We review Shadowrun, Tomb Raider Anniversary, and the Wii edition of Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Plus, Game Trailers is on location to go all Hooper on Stuntman Ignition and downloads their 3 hottest videos of the week. Hey everybody, welcome to Gamehead. I'm Geoff Keighley, and now we've made it downstairs into Ben's lab, where Ben Heck is working away here, right?
Yeah,
This is the lab, Ben? How are you?
I'm all right.
This is where it all happens? The underground of the video game industry?
Yeah, literally underground.
The place that Microsoft would like to bomb? Let's pull up a chair here and take a look at some of your creations. So this lab is pretty interesting. And this is, feels sort of very hobbyist. Is this something that is kind of your hobby? Is that how you got started in this?
Yeah, it was about 7 years ago. I was in between hobbies, looking for a new kind of hobby. This is obviously something people sit around thinking, oh, what's my next hobby? Right. But anyway, I'm like, I'm going to try some electronic stuff, because I hadn't done that in, like many years. Like when I was a kid, I would tinker around with it, So I was like, I think I will try something with the Atari 2600. This is what it looks like when you take it apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the old circuit board for the Atari.
Right, yeah, as you can tell, it's ancient.
Right.
But I'd heard it was very simple, so I thought maybe I could hack this up and make it into portable or something. Because I'd always, liked the Game Boys and whatnot. But I didn't like how they were backlit. Back then they weren't backlit. I took one of these apart and I designed a case around it. And actually I have it right here. This is the first one that I ever built.
Wow.
And as you can tell, it's a lot more bulky than the ones I do now. And I even ripped off, as an homage to the joysticks that says top and bottom with a little orange thing going around it. And actually, these are Nintendo
D-pads. Yeah.
Yep.
Anticipating the summer blockbuster movie season and feel like taking matters into your own hands like John McClane? Well, yippee-ki-yay! Pursuit Force Extreme Justice may just be the thrill ride you're looking for. The Pursuit Force is back, along with some new members to crack down on the 5 criminal gangs that terrorize Capital City. This exclusive footage shows that the game mechanism remains the same as the original. You chase your target by pouncing from vehicle to vehicle, including hovercrafts and even jet skis. Your arsenal is comprised of over 30 guns to assist in your car and hover jackets. What's new is the ad hoc wireless multiplayer system that allows for up to 4 PSPs to enter the pursuit at once. The PSP is dying for some big titles, and we're hoping this is one of them. Join the chase when Pursuit Force Extreme Justice is released this fall. Do you get commissioned to do things, or you just do them and put them up on eBay, or what?
It's mostly been commissions for about the last year, like the Xbox laptop. The new little Ataris I'm doing, those are kind of my own idea. Okay. Because those are kind of like mass-produced, well, to some extent. But yeah, it's been mostly commissions, and usually, sometimes people will say, can you make me a combo, like Intellivision/Wii, and I'm like, no. Big thing people want these days are the single-handed Xbox 360 controller that I did. I keep hearing that the people that are disabled lobby companies to make it. Nobody seems interested. But they go on the internet now and all they find is some guy in his basement.
This week, Game Trailers went on location to Hollywood, California to get a sneak peek at Stuntman Ignition. Before we got our hands on the game, veteran racer Russ Swift showed off some, well, he just showed off.
I've been doing this type of thing about 35 years. I've got the Guinness World Record for the reverse 180 or the J-turn. I've also got the Guinness World Record for the parallel park. My record is parking in a space 33 centimetres, which is about 13 inches longer than the car.
Impressive as it may be, any gamer knows high production values are nice, but what about the gameplay?
Stuntman Ignition, you are a car driver. You're executing stunts in Hollywood's biggest action movies. We implemented the app system, which is the scoring. So you can score off anything in the level. You can get a close, a gap, an apps, throw a drift, execute a director's stunt, hit the action button, anything. So there's a little bit more of a freestyle element in there. We want to put you right in the middle of the action. That's our focus and that's our goal.
From what we gathered, Stuntman Ignition actually makes you feel like you were backstage on a big Hollywood movie. And the precise handling and forgiving points system makes the game exceptionally easy to pick up and play. The game ships in August, but if you want more now on Stuntman Ignition, make sure to head over to GameTrailers.com.
Next on Gamehead, Ben shows us his take on a Microsoft handheld. We revisit two old perky friends in Tomb Raider Anniversary. And still to come, we world premiere the trailer for Mercenaries 2 World in Flames. Bono would be proud. What are your fellow gamers renting across the country? Well, Gamehead's Open World gives you the top 5 May rentals from Gamefly and Gotta Play. Spider-Man 3 tops both the charts, and it's definitely more of a rental than a purchase. And some gamers have gone back to Gears of War. Thanks to Epic, there's always something new to discover with Mr. Phoenix. It's an open world out there, so support gaming diversity.
Can you make my N64s portable?
Hey everybody, welcome back to Gamehead. This week we're inside the laboratory of Ben Heckendorn, who's creating kind of cool portables based on classic and current video game systems. You've probably heard of the Xbox 360 Elite. This is not that. It's the Xbox 360 Portable, one of a kind, created by you.
Yeah, there's another one, but it's not the same color. So yeah, this is completely different.
How did you even come up with the, the idea of doing this is such a complicated piece of technology to make it into a laptop.
Well, I don't think it's that complicated.
Okay. Wow. I mean, it's like, how many hours does it take to build something like this?
Oh, probably about, I don't sit there with an egg timer or anything, but I don't know, about 40.
It's got the wireless controller. I mean, this literally just works right out of the box, we hope, right? So I'll try and power it on just like the 360. The fans start up, right?
Yeah, and like it's got...
Is it going to work here, Ben? I don't know.
It's got one of the PSP features, actually. It's covered with fingerprints.
Okay. It's beautiful about, the way you finished it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I put the graphics. I made my own Xbox 360 logo here because it's technically an Xbox 360 inside.
Why is it a Heck 360? Come on,
because people are like, what the heck is that?
If you need any proof that Nintendo's not just for kids anymore, check out Mortal Kombat Armageddon for the Wii. A simple flick of the wrist is all that's needed to tear out an enemy's spine. The core game is basically Armageddon for the PS2. There are more than 60 playable characters, including the skinless fleshy meat and the stun gun wielding striker. You can battle head-to-head, create a fighter, or even take Johnny Cage's hot rod for a go-kart race. But here's the big question. Does the gesture control scheme really work? Sort of. It's easier to pull off special moves like teleporting when you don't have to remember complicated button combos. But the fighting is too fast-paced to make the imprecise motion controls really work. Midway should have designed a unique game instead of just tacking motion controls onto an old one. Along with the lack of online play, Armageddon's more of a novelty. It bludgeons its way to a Gamehead score of 7 out of 10. You talked about doing Xbox 360, PlayStation, Wii. What do these companies think of the fact that you do stuff like this? I mean, do you ever hear from Microsoft and they say, hey, that's really cool you did that, or they try and sue you, or what happened?
I did get an email from someone at Xbox once,
right.
And actually I think it was in regards to the single-handed controller,
right.
But it never really went anywhere. That tends to happen. You get an email, you trade a couple emails, and then, whatever. Right. I guess that's better than hearing from their lawyers.
Right.
The thing is, I don't do the hacked DVD,
right.
plain ripped games. I just do hardware.
Yeah.
Because, people can buy their own games. That's not my scene, the mod chips.
Right, exactly.
That's not me. I'm all just making a cool case.
Dinos, Crocs, Bears, and one busty brunette. All the signature elements of Tomb Raider. The new Anniversary Edition for the PS2 remakes the original 1996 classic with new graphics, puzzles, and a sweet $30 price tag. Lady Lara Croft still has her dual 9mm pistols and can now use the grappling hook from last year's Tomb Raider Legend. The camera still gets in the way of the gameplay, and the game's more about puzzle solving and adventuring than action. So sure, it's a bit dated, but Lara's as spry and jiggly as ever, bouncing to a GameHead score of 7 out of 10. Coming up next on GameHead, Ben puts a price tag on all his hard work. We summon a review of Shadowrun. And still to come, we have an exclusive first look at Mercenaries 2 World in Flames. Hey everybody, welcome back to GameHead. This week we're hanging out with Ben Heck, who's a master video game modder, and you brought along your friend Jason.
You called
here.
me Ben Heck
again. Ben Heck.
Heckendorn.
True. And your buddy Jason, and you guys have your own podcast on benheck.com, right?
That's correct.
Now, this is not a podcast necessarily like your how-tos that you put up on Engadget or, your book that explains how to do this stuff. You guys just sort of riff on the gaming industry, pop culture, all this fun stuff, right?
Mostly the gaming industry, yeah.
So what is the gaming industry doing right, doing wrong right now? What do you think of, PlayStation 3 has been getting beat up quite a bit out there. You think rightfully so?
I think it's a pretty solid system, but it's pretty overpriced at the same time, and it's just, I won't be buying one anytime soon because the games just aren't there for it, so.
Can't help but think of the 3DO or the Neo Geo when you look at that price tag.
Yeah, it's true, but it's, after PlayStation 2 was so successful, a lot of, people said, well, PlayStation guys are going to keep buying PlayStations, but it seems to be, a lot of people are buying 360s right now.
Well, the thing is, to think about that, there's an 800-pound gorilla called Final Fantasy 13 or whatever the number they're on that hasn't come out yet.
Metal Gear Solid 4.
Right. I mean, back in the year 2001 at this time, the PS2 wasn't exactly lighting the world on fire either. Yeah. So I just think it's a little premature to, start digging a grave. Yeah. So we'll see.
When a magical terrorist attack strikes Brazil in 2021, yes, I'm serious, it's up to you to bear arms as a human, elf, troll, or dwarf in Shadowrun for the Xbox 360. The hook in this first-person shooter is a series of cool magical power-ups. You can instantly teleport through walls, cast a tree of life to regenerate your health, and use Gust to basically force-push enemies off ledges. Great ideas, but there's one slight problem. They sort of magically forgot to include a single-player game. All you get are a series of bot matches and 16-player multiplayer on 9 maps. They try to cram a little story into the training missions, but after a couple hours, the only thing you'll be marveling at is the smoke and mirrors they used to convince you this was worth $60. The multiplayer is solid and innovative, it's just that the game is way overpriced. Be scared of this, Shadow. It gets a GameHead score of 6 out of 10. If someone has an idea, they just email you, and if you think it's cool, you agree on a price, and then you go and do it?
Yeah, I have to think it's cool, and they have to have the money. Those are the true requirements.
What does it cost to have you do something? What's the most one of your pieces is sold for?
The most?
Yeah.
Well, the Xbox laptops are, I'll say, thousands of dollars.
Right.
Little things like the little portables are usually around $400.
Okay.
But usually, I usually like $60 an hour, and I'll, do whatever.
Wow, that's a pretty good rate.
That's not too bad.
Lights, camera, action. Here's a very special Head Start movie edition. After almost a year of delays, the film adaptation of Tecmo's Dead or Alive series was finally released today. Jamie Presley and a bunch of other half-naked hot chicks kicking ass and playing volleyball? Well, it sounds great, in theory. Let the games begin. Fueled by $400 million in financing, Brash Entertainment has announced that they will make multiple games based on the Saw film franchise. And finally, we have a video game movie alert. Variety reports that Spy Hunter will in fact be released by Universal Pictures, but will be directed and co-written by video game movie veteran Paul W.S. Anderson instead of John Woo. Whether or not The Rock will still star in the film remains a mystery that even The Interceptor couldn't track down. Next on GameHead, Ben goes all Ralph Baer on the Atari 2600. And finally, we world premiere the first ever trailer for Mercenaries 2 World in Flames. And now it's time for your YouView question of the week. It's been almost 7 months now since the last of the 7th generation video game consoles have been released. As of right now, what's your favorite console? The PS3, 360, Wii, or are you still holding on to the PS2? Be sure to place your vote at gamehead.spiketv.com. Hey everybody, welcome back to Gamehead. This week we're here with mad video game scientist Ben Heckendorn, who's working away on creating kind of cool portable mix-ups of old classic video game systems. Now Ben, you're going to show us how you take an Atari 2600 and make it into this, right?
That's right.
All right here on Gamehead.
Live.
All right, Ben, you ready? Let's start the clock up. Let's see how long this is going to take you, right?
Ding. I'm sure the FCC is crying as they watch this. Okay, remember kids, be careful when you do this at home. There it is. So then here you go. This is the final 4x4-inch square that is your still working Atari, and that's how I hack it up to put it in a unit like that.
It's been another record-breaking month for downloads on GameTrailers.com, and here are 3 of the latest pieces of media that are lighting up the site. The gang at Rockstar is at it again, and this time they're conjuring up some bad memories with the latest glimpse of Manhunt 2 on the PS2 and Nintendo Wii. With over 100,000 downloads in its first 24 hours on the site, it appears as though gamers can't wait for the hunt to begin. Anxious gamers waiting for us to shed some light on 2K's upcoming title The Darkness have gotten what they've asked for. 3 brand new, rather disturbing trailers showcase some of the game's unique features, like the ability to suck enemies into a bottomless black hole. With over 600,000 downloads so far, it's safe to say that gamers are ready to embrace the darkness. The Need for Speed franchise is back and looking better than ever in its latest installment titled Pro Street. This announcement trailer showcased the awesome new destructive car models used in the game and has already given over 400,000 viewers their first true taste of next-gen smoke. If you want to check out the full versions of these trailers in action, just head on over to GameTrailers.com.
What do you do now, Ben, if you've done, Xbox 360, Wii, and I'm sure PS3 is coming one day soon? It's like, all the game systems are out there. So what do you do for the next 5 years until you wait for PS4 and Xbox 720?
Alexander weeping because there's no more worlds to conquer.
Exactly, that's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because every day I walk upstairs and I'm like, no, there's nothing left.
Right, but you're also, instead of just doing how-tos, you're also starting to make your own products too, right?
Yes, and I actually have the prototype right here.
What a coincidence.
Imagine that. This is actually going to be the first Ben Heckendorn branded retail product.
Okay, what's on the top? Oh, it's Audio FX Pro 5.1, right?
Yes, kind of a long name. You can be like John Lennon. It's really comfortable.
Does it rumble?
Yeah, if you play a game, let's say like Battlefield, whatever they're on, like a tank's like, it actually goes, it's kind of like if you're a concert.
Extra
like
bass kind of thing?
Yeah, it actually has little motors in it, and it gives you a rumble feedback. It's pretty cool. I even got to design the box. That's what I'm really excited about.
Okay, cool.
So it's all Ben Heck.
And to watch the trailer again tomorrow morning in HD, head over to GameTrailers.com. All right, Ben, well, thanks for inviting us down to Heck Inc. here, right? The laboratory where it all happens. And hopefully we'll come back sometime. I'm sure you got more gadgets coming, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm always working on something.
But get a lab coat.
Okay, I'll think about it.
Lab coat, little, pocket protector.
Exactly, and the horn rim glasses.
You have a little bit of a Bunsen honeydew kind of look to you.
Oh, the Muppets, yeah, how obscure, yeah.
All right, well, that's it for this week's Game Head. But make sure to tune in next week for all the latest video game news, reviews, and previews. I know the game. Do you? This episode of Game Head will be available tomorrow on SpikeTV.com for your viewing pleasure. Watch it again because it's a heck of a good show.
Heckendorn.